So we're back. So other than Fannie, there's Ron Barron. He'd be interested in this. So other than Fannie and Freddie, we've never made money. On the airlines, we didn't.
The airlines, we weren't.
We lost even more.
But we weren't trying to.
TARP.
But we weren't trying to make money.
We wanted to save the industry.
We were trying, and the way it was structured from the beginning, and the reason why I used to complain about it.
We could have made money?
Yes. And the point was, if you wanted to take a larger stake in the airlines at the time to bail them out, you could have made money. It was possible. But we decided that we were effectively just going to give them the
warrants.
Money, like wholesale. And the warrants were always so
like
small that you could never make enough money to make up for it. Look, if you go back
was the theory that they didn't want to scare out private capital down the road? I mean, look, a loss is a loss if we lost money on it.
It was just a completely different theory of the case, which was...
Well, that was the same thing with automakers.
Well,
they wanted to save the jobs there.
But the theory of the case with the automakers was they did think that they had a path to try to make the money back, which was different. And with the banks, the theory of the case was, we're going to give you this money, and we believe we can make it back, and we can make the taxpayer whole.
It was almost like
with
it's
the
a
airlines,
utility.
we didn't even try to make anybody whole. The goal was not to make anybody whole.
It was to save the industry because we needed travel.
Because we felt that it was so important. And the question then was, you could have saved the industry if you wanted to, and you would have owned the industry.
But you wanted to sacrifice shareholders and management.
Not necessarily management.
Even though it wasn't their fault.
It wasn't even about management.
Even though it wasn't their...
It wasn't even about management.
No, but that's what the government rationale was. It wasn't their fault, so you don't need to sacrifice the shareholders. But this is more... We do a lot of industrial policy that we say isn't, but we do it anyway. And
once you start it, it's really hard to unwind the unintended consequences from all of this stuff, which is why we're still living.
I just will note that if you looked at the bailouts for the airlines, the way those were structured, was structured
so that they weren't trying to make money.
Right, and that was by the Trump administration.
Well,
they did that. You could also go back and look the bailouts of the cars, automobiles, and the banks were the banks and the cars were a combination of the end of the Bush administration and the beginning of the Obama administration.
But it needed to be done. If I were an airline CEO, I wouldn't let you on any of the flights. That's just what I'm saying. So you can drive with screen. Well, your kids are growing up now. They still might be screaming. I don't know. Mine still do. But so you can drive 14 hours in a car.
Okay.
Stopping at all your charging stations.
What does Ron Barron
Veteran investor Ron Barron is working on launching 5 actively managed ETFs. An SEC filing details focuses ranging from small and mid-cap companies to financial stocks to tech. Separately, filings show investment giant Vanguard is planning to debut its first actively managed U.S. stock ETFs this year. Wow.
That is weird.
That is
such
weird.
a turn
After
from what
being
John Bogle came up with and what he
so
designed
sanctimonious
this entire
about never trying to beat the market. Now they are.
Because you can't do it, and it's not worth the fees, and people get ripped off for it.
It's different this time. They got the perfect person to run it, maybe. Vanguard plans to roll out ETF versions of 3 of its existing mutual funds. The company says the strategies will focus on growth stocks, value stocks, and dividend growth.
But this is a change in the law. So part of what's happened here is you couldn't do this before.
With an ETF.
Yes, all of this lived within the wrapper of a mutual fund. You weren't allowed to be an ETF. Now they've effectively allowed the creation of these ETFs. The other piece of this is they all carry higher fees.
Right.
Why do you want to be in the actively managed business? Because of the higher fee structure. Because you can claim that we're doing something that's unique and different. That's what Jack Bogle preached for forever, and what he did at Vanguard and the reason it came about. It is.